Welcome back to the Scales of Phandalin. I am Volo and my quill is quivering. We left our heroes in the dark, surrounded by the dead.
And today, Volo, they learn that some treasures carry a price far heavier than gold. I am Storm Silverhand. Let us step back into the crypt.
I have been waiting all week for this. We really have to reset the scene, because the tension right at the end of the last session was just, you could feel it.
Oh, absolutely. So to paint the picture for you, we are deep inside the Dragon Barrow. Think stale earth, the oppressive weight of stone all around you, and just absolute crushing darkness.
And the party is split up, which is, always rule number one of what not to do.
It is the cardinal sin of dungeoneering, yeah. You've got Valindra and Lyra over in one chamber with this skeletal horse.
We'll get to the horse.
We will. Then you have Ohio, Jim, and Turin in another room doing what they do best.
Looting tombs. Classic.
Classic. And then the focal point. Imogen and Gillette PG, our turtle druid, they're standing right in front of the massive skull of the green dragon, Azdraka.
And right there, embedded in the scone, inside that skull, is the sword. The legendary blade we've been talking about. Honor's Embrace.
The Dragon Slayer, a weapon of pure legend. But we have to remember the warning. This is crucial. Back in session 18, Lady Tanimir Alagundar's ghost was very, very specific.
She said, disturbing the sword might awaken the vigilance of the dead.
And that's not just, flowery language. That is a mechanical condition of this place. It's a promise.
And of course, Pliptulip, he walks right up and grabs the hilt.
He does, and that's the catalyst. The moment he wrenches that blade free, it's not just a feat of strength. It is a magical trigger. A pressure wave, almost silent, just ripples through the entire cavern. The seal is broken.
Which brings us right into part one. The vigilance of the dead.
And this is terrifying because it wasn't a case of, a hidden door sliding open with skeletons behind it.
No.
Suddenly, beside every single scattered group, these ghostly floating lights just materialize out of thin air. Will-o-wisps.
And that creates immediate total chaos. Split party, pitch blackness, and now these glowing motes of light are just hovering there.
But the real horror isn't the lights themselves, it's what they represent.
Right, because Imogen, who is, I guess, equal parts brave and impulsive.
That's a good way to put it.
She reaches out to touch one, and her hand just passes straight through it. They're ethereal. They aren't even attacking, they're just watching.
It's pure psychological warfare, but it's also a tactic, right? It's designed by whoever built this tomb, because then the party starts taking damage.
Heavy damage.
Serious damage. And there's nothing there. Slashing wounds are disappearing on their skin, on their armor, out of nowhere.
That's a nightmare scenario. How do you fight something you can't see? This is where PG, our druid, really shows his value. His wisdom stat kicks in.
It really does. He looks at the wisps, he feels the attacks, and he puts it together. The wisps aren't the primary threat.
They're the eyes.
They're the eyes. They're a tether. They're illuminating the targets for something else. An invisible stalker.
Okay, let's pause on that because some people listening might not have that monster memorized. What exactly is an invisible stalker?
An invisible stalker is an elemental being, summoned from the plane of air, usually by a very powerful magic user, either to hunt a specific target or, in this case, to guard a treasure. It was bound to Honor's Embrace.
So it's basically an assassin made of wind.
Precisely. And it's not just invisible like a wizard casting a spell. It is naturally invisible. It bends light around itself. You can't really focus on it. In a pitch-black tomb, that advantage is lethal.
Mechanically, that's just brutal, right? The creature has advantage on all its attacks. The party has disadvantage on theirs. They're literally just flailing in the dark.
And you could see that in the combat. It was so intense. They're swinging swords and axes at empty air, but then there's this tactical shift, a really smart one.
They stop trying to hit it with steel.
And they start using magic, area of effect magic. PG summons a moonbeam.
A cylinder of radiant moonlight just searing down from the ceiling.
Exactly. He's creating a zone it can't hide in. If it moves through that light, it takes damage, whether they can see it or not.
And Imogen is using guiding energy, trying to outline it somehow, to reveal the silhouette so they can destroy the substance.
And the climax of this fight was it was perfect, cinematic. Imogen conjures a firebolt, just a simple, raw blast of arcane fire. And she doesn't aim where she thinks it is. She aims where she feels the pressure in the air change.
She trusts her gut. Or, I guess for a sorcerer, she trusts the weave.
She does. And it strikes true. You get the shimmer in the air, a distortion, and then nothing. And here's the fascinating connection. The moment the stalker dies, fading back to its home plane.
The will-o-wisps just puff. They're gone.
Dissipate into dust, all of them, simultaneously.
The eyes died with the body.
It confirms PG's theory 100%. The defenses of this tomb were a single, cohesive unit. The sword was the keystone, the stalker was the guardian, the wisps were the eyes. And once the guardian fell, the vigilance of the dead was finally truly at rest.
So the fight's over. The sword is theirs. Honor's embrace is secured. Now surely it's time for the victory lap, time for some serious looting.
Well, yes and no, and that brings us to part 2. Because there's loot, absolutely, but there are also consequences. This place isn't just a container for magic items, it's a historical site.
Always with the history. But the sword, let's talk about the sword first. This is a weapon that kills dragons. With Cryovane, the white dragon, still a major threat in the region, this is a game changer.
It's an incredibly potent weapon, no doubt. But look what Imogen does right after the fight. She doesn't run around grabbing gold. She goes to Lady Tanamir's tomb, not to loot it.
To pay respect.
To pay respects.
Sure.
And this moment was so somber. Tanamir is a hero of Neverwinter. Imogen opens the lid.
Poof! Just dust.
The body had been sealed for over a century. The sudden exposure to air, it just crumbles. It's such a stark reminder of mortality, you know? Heroes fade. Their legends and apparently their gear are what's left.
Imogen keeps the ashes, though. She scoops them into a pouch, which is, I don't know, it's a bit macabre, isn't it?
Yeah.
But also kind of respectful.
I think it's reverence. Imogen, as a sorcerer, understands power and lineage. She's not taking a trinket. She's taking the essence of a hero, a memento mori, which stands in such sharp contrast to Ohio Jim and Turin.
Oh, Ohio Jim. While Imogen is having this deeply spiritual moment with a pile of dust, he and Turin are across the room, pointing at another sarcophagus and going, I bet there's good stuff in that one.
And greed, as it so often does in these old tombs, triggers a trap.
A bad one. A really bad one. They pry the lid open and just whoosh.
Yeah.
Acid spray.
Not just a little splash either. This brought Ohio Jim straight to death's door. He was melting. If Valindra hadn't been right there, that's the end of his story.
And Valindra, cleric of Talos, the god of storms and destruction. You don't normally think of them for, gentle healing magic.
True, but Talos is also about survival. You have to survive the storm. Valindra understands that. She steps in, channels her magic, and stabilizes him. But that contrast is just. It's perfect. Ohio, driven by greed, almost dies. Valindra, driven by responsibility, pulls him back.
And frankly, Ohio needed that reality check. He gets away with a lot, but a trap doesn't care how good your stealth check is if you just open the lid without looking.
Exactly. A trap is an equalizer. Acid burns the same. And it just highlights how dangerous this place really is.
Speaking of things that are still around, we have to talk about the horse.
The skeletal warhorse.
Banshee. They named him Banshee, which I love.
The very fitting name. And this was such a surprising moment. Valindra and Lyra find this thing, and you expect it to be hostile, right? It's an undead creature.
But it nuzzles her. It's like a giant bony puppy.
It speaks to the nature of the magic here. This wasn't some evil necromancer's work. This was a loyal steed, buried with its rider, animated by that loyalty. It recognized a fellow warrior in Valindra.
The scene of them trying to get this giant horse out of the dungeon, though.
Yeah.
The corridors are 5 feet wide. The horse is not.
It was a logistical nightmare. And it probably led to the next problem.
The tunnel collapse.
Right.
PG and Valindra are poking around a crevice, and the whole ceiling just gives way.
Which just emphasizes, this place is unstable, the magic holding it together, that vigilance of the dead. It's gone. The structural integrity is failing.
But PG, this is why you love a high-level druid.
Yeah.
He just says, oh, I'm buried alive. No, I'm not. And he uses earth-shaping magic to just move the earth.
It really shows how far they've come. In Session 1, a cave-in would have been the end of the campaign. Now, it's an inconvenience, a resource drain. So they dig out, they have the horse, they have the sword, and they finally exit the barrow.
Mission accomplished. Victory.
And yet, the atmosphere shifts the second they step outside.
It really does. They head back to Phandalin, which is usually this dusty, kind of quiet frontier town, but not tonight.
No, the weather has turned. There's this unseasonable fog, a cold, heavy rain. The mood goes from dungeon triumph to something deeply unsettling.
And then in an alleyway where they're positive, absolutely positive, there was no building before.
There's a shop. The Cobwebbed Curio?
Even the name gives me the creeps. Describe this place. The sensory details here were incredible.
It doesn't look like it was built. It looks like it grew. The wood is twisted, dark, almost organic. There's a single sickly green lantern swinging in the wind. But the real trap isn't visual.
It's the smell.
It's the smell. Baking bread, lavender.
And ozone.
Ozone is the smell of raw magic, of lightning. But bread and lavender, that sounds nice.
And that's exactly why it is so dangerous. Think about the state they're in. They're exhausted, covered in grave dirt, acid burns, spider webs. And what does the smell of baking bread signify?
Home, safety, warmth.
Exactly. It's a sensory lure. It bypasses all their warrior instincts and hits something more primal. Food, rest, safety. And it works. They go inside. And the interior's it's a fever dream. The shelves seem to shift when you're not looking. There are jars on the shelves filled with unblinking eyes, clocks ticking backward.
Singing stones and bird cages. It's a collection of impossibilities. The geometry is all wrong. The ceiling is too high. The shadows are too deep. This isn't a place. It's a domain, a pocket dimension.
And it belongs to the shopkeeper, this bird-like woman, wrapped in raven feathers with spectacles that make her eyes look impossibly large.
And she knows their names.
I know. She greets them by name. That is the #1 flashing red sign that says, "Run away now."
But they don't. They're intrigued. And this is the real core of Session 19. This is the soul trade.
She's a hag. It has to be a hag. Everything about this screams hag.
The signs are certainly pointing that way. Night hags specifically are known for this sort of thing, trading in souls, crossing planes. But she doesn't attack. She offers them their heart's desires.
Let's go through these deals one by one, because some of them are just devastating. Let's start with Imogen.
Imogen. We have to remember her history here. Session 14, the betrayal by Neza. The person she thought was her mentor was actually wiping her memories, manipulating her entire life.
She has these black holes in her past. She is desperate for answers.
And the hag knows this. The offer is an obsidian mirror, a scrying tool, a way to see the truth, to spy on Neza.
But the price is just cruel. Her happiest childhood memory.
It's a perfect tragic irony. To get the truth about her present danger, she has to sacrifice the one pure, uncomplicated joy from her past. The memory she gives up, playing in a field of wildflowers with her parents, the feeling of being completely safe and loved.
And it's just gone. Like she can't remember it at all.
Excised, like a surgeon removing a piece of her. She gets the mirror, but she loses the memory of that joy. It's a mutilation of the self.
Why do it? Why would anyone agree to that?
Because Imogen is terrified. She knows the Black Spider is plotting something big. She believes that information is the only thing that can save her friends. She's sacrificing her own happiness for their survival. It's a martyr's choice.
That's horrifying. Because if you start trading away the good parts of yourself, what's left to fight for? If you forget what love felt like, can you even feel it anymore?
That's the danger. She's walking a razor's edge.
Okay, but then there's Ohio, Jim.
Oh, Ohio, Jim.
I cannot wrap my head around this deal. The hag offers him a skeleton key, opens any mundane lock. For a rogue, that is an incredible tool.
An amazing tool, and the price.
His name. He sold his name. What does that even mean in practice?
It means he's being erased from the world's memory. People will forget him moments after meeting him. He introduces himself, they shake his hand, and 5 seconds later, they have no idea who he is. He becomes a ghost in his own life.
For a key.
For a key. But think about it from his perspective. He's a rogue. He values access. He values getting into places he isn't supposed to be. In his mind, he traded a word for a tool that gets him anywhere.
He didn't realize he was trading his entire identity.
Exactly. A name isn't just a label, it's your reputation, it's your connection to people, your friendships. He's effectively isolated himself from the world. He's become socially invisible.
I could just see him in a tavern. Who are you again? I'm Ohio Jim.
Oh.
Ooh, it's going to drive him absolutely mad.
It's a curse of solitude. For a character who loves being known, loves the attention, it is a hell of his own making.
That is just heartbreaking, actually.
It is.
Okay, next. Plep. Trip. Our druid. The wise one. Surely he didn't fall for this.
He did, but his deal was strategic, let's say. He has the Ring of Eris.
Right, from session 12. And he's been trying to figure it out ever since. He even asked Redith the druid to look at it back in session 17.
It's been a source of constant frustration for him. He knows it has power, but he can't unlock it, so the hag offers him a shortcut. Mastery over the ring, instant attunement, instant understanding.
And the price is a future favor. which sounds so cheap.
It is the most dangerous price of all.
She do me a solid later.
You never, ever accept an undefined debt from a creature like this. A favor could be anything. Kill this king, betray your friends, give me your firstborn, anything.
So the wise druid fell for the buy now, pay later scheme.
He gambled. He decided that the power of the ring now was worth the risk of the debt later. Which tells you something. It tells you he thinks the threat they're facing is so immense that he needs every weapon he can get his hands on, no matter the cost. He's desperate.
And then there's Lyra, the Sea Elf Paladin.
Lyra's deal is poetic. She's been searching for her lost ship, the Leviathan. It's her whole quest.
And the hag offers her its true name.
She does, and the price is her luck.
Oof. Mechanically, that's terrifying,
Yeah.
but lore-wise.
It means the hag can now influence her fate. In a moment of crisis, when everything hangs in the balance, the hag can put her thumb on the scale and make her fail.
So Lyra has basically given the enemy veto power over her success.
Yes. But to Lyra, the ship is her purpose. She traded her safety for her identity. It's a very paladin thing to do, sacrificing the self for the cause. But the cause is so deeply personal.
So they're all trading away pieces of themselves, a memory, an identity, a favor, their luck for tools.
It's transactional. That's what makes the magic binding. They weren't tricked. They agreed to this.
But not everyone. We have two holdouts, Valindra and Turin.
And their refusal is just as important as the other's acceptance. Valindra was offered a compass that would point directly to her missing sister.
Her main quest, the whole reason she's out here.
And she said no. She serves Talos. She understands that some paths have to be walked, not skipped. She sensed the corruption in the deal and walked away.
That takes incredible willpower.
It really does. It shows her maturity. She trusts her own strength more than a quick fix from a questionable source.
And Turin, the gnome barbarian.
He was offered a chance to speak to his dead father. A powerful temptation. For closure. For advice. But he also refused. Maybe he believes the dead should rest. Or maybe he knew that whatever the hag summoned wouldn't really be his father. It would just be a puppet, a cruel imitation.
So they walk away clean. The others, they have their new toys.
And the taste of ash in their mouths, the victory in the barrow feels pretty hollow now.
So the deals are made. And then, just like that, poof.
The shop is gone, vanished. They're just standing in the rain in a muddy alley that's empty again.
That fever dream quality. Did it even happen? But it did, because Imogen is holding a black obsidian mirror.
And Ohio has a skeleton key. The physical evidence remains.
And Imogen doesn't waste a second. She paid the ultimate price for this thing. She's going to use it. Show me Neza.
And this is the cliffhanger. This is where we're left. The mirror clears.
Oh,
She sees a cave. She sees Nessa.
So she's alive.
Mm.
And still evil.
And in a position of power. She's watching as bugbears beat a bound prisoner. She is in command. This is not someone on the run.
But the big reveal.
Yeah.
The thing in the shadows behind her.
The suit of armor. Or maybe a construct of some kind.
It's just looming there.
Yeah, and we have to connect the dots here. We know the Black Spider is after the Forge of Spells in Wave Echo Cave. A forge that creates powerful magic items.
Oh no.
If Neza and the Black Spider aren't just plotting, if they're building things,
Yeah.
magical soldiers.
That's not a gang of goblins anywhere. That's an army.
An army that doesn't sleep, doesn't feel fear, and doesn't negotiate. Imogen wanted the truth, and she got it. The truth is, they are completely and utterly outgunned.
The suit of armor, a prisoner, and Ohio Jim gave away his own name. I need a drink.
Power always demands a sacrifice, Volo. The question is, can they afford the bill when it comes due?
Thank you for listening. Until next Thursday, host speaker and expert speaker. May the scales always tip in your favor.